hiring at IITs have declined about 15 to 30% in the final months of 2023, which is December of 2023 compared to any other previous years. Now, final placements have seen, in fact, a very limited response. This, according to students who have appeared for these placements, haven't gotten jobs just as yet. Krishnakumar continues to be with me in the studio. Krishna, it is an interesting trend because it points to a decline in hiring, a freeze in hiring, which is being continuously seen now. And these are some of the top IITs, which essentially means they account for some of the most brainy, educated, erudite people in this country. People who are in IITs, essentially people who are the creamy of the top lot. They are saying they are not getting jobs, compared to the jobs some of their seniors got in the previous years. This is a reflection of an overall freeze in the IT hiring trends. We've seen IT headcounts going down in the second quarter of the year, and they continue to decline year on year. In fact, the top bellwether companies, their total headcount declined by about 16,000. The workforce declined about 16,000 in the second quarter of this financial year. They're not hiring. In fact, they continue to fire, and that is depressing a lot of IIT students at this point.
Now, I'm going to help depress other people and not IIT students, because somehow the picture is not as murky as we make it out to be, because as far as the median CTC is concerned, the cost to company at which hiring is concerned for financial year 2024, it's at 20 lakh rupees versus 22 lakhs in FY23 and 19 lakhs in FY22. The highest overseas package offered this year for an IIT pass out is 3 crore rupees. We're talking about graduates' first job after IIT, and 3 crore rupees, up from 2 crore rupees in the previous year. The overall, the highest pay packet, for example, for somebody passing out of IIT has just gone up 1/3, has gone up by 1 crore. So in that sense, everybody thinking that, oh my God, what is happening with IIT? The clear trend that, like you were talking about, yes, there is a slowdown in hiring in IT. In IT and IT related services and IT consulting services. But what has happened to compensate is that there has been a rise in hiring for R&D and core sectors and other sectors.
As opposed to your engineering, traditional IT sectors.
Right. No, we're talking about IT as an information technology. That is one branch of engineering.
Absolutely.
There is, also it's the most overwhelming branch of engineering in the country. Let's face it. I mean, you have in engineering, for example, Shweta, there is IT, there's IT software, IT hardware, there is EEE, there is mechanical engineering, civil engineering, there's tons of it. Of course, we've seen India as a whole take to it like a religion in the last 3-4 decades of IT engineering. But what is happening, if you're noticing over the last decade or so, there is a clear move away from the kind of blind applications for IT engineering. So what is heartening to see is that if more and more hiring is happening for R&D and other core sectors, that is a good sign that the IITs are
Perhaps
able to...
time to shift your branch.
Well, time to make sure you arrive at what you want to study based on, one, your own interest and how well you're going to be doing in it. And second is also try to see what the market conditions are. But I would rather say to all those watching this broadcast, don't worry about market conditions. Always pick the engineering branch or the studies branch that you yourself, find yourself enjoying studying it and find yourself and are able to see a future with it. Yes, the larger point that Shweta that you were talking about, I totally agree with it. There has been there's been a reduction in the headcount of IT companies. There's been a reduction in the hiring of IT companies, and that will affect not just IIT. That's going to affect engineering colleges across the country. IIT is just going to be a part of it. But what IIT has as an advantage is that it has all kinds of employers coming to the campus. And yes, there is questions of the next round. There's anxiety around the next round because the round so far has been less, and that's where the fear is. But as far as the paychecks coming the way of IIT students are concerned, well, they're all right there. The median is 20 lakhs. It can go all the way up to 3 crore rupees. So that's something to bear in mind as we are wondering how much of a problem is placement at IITs in the country.
Absolutely. And not to play the devil's advocate, but here's what students are saying, that the salaries that they're being offered has remained in fact constant in the past couple of years, has not accounted for inflation, which is about 4 to 6% currently at the moment. And essentially, when you look at these pay packages, you're looking at the upper bracket, 2 crores, 1 crores, and believing or hoping that everybody gets the same. But these are some very outstanding students who managed to get that pay package of 1 CR and above. On an average, 20 lakh has been the median for a couple of years now, and that is concerning the IIT students because, as I mentioned, these are some of the most brainiest people in the country. But to add to that, there has been a shift in traditionally what were the jobs that IIT students or students who are coming out of engineering colleges would get, because IT sector is also going a churning at this point, and a churning essentially means that some of your entry-level jobs are going away. So R&D is the new emerging sector, but there are other, of course, emerging sectors on the back of the AI advancements that some of these IT companies are taking to at a very fast clip.
Right, they are, and like you're rightly pointing out, the topmost salary is not an indication of how well all students across IITs are doing. They rightly as there's been a 10 to 15% dip. There's been a 10 to
15 to 30% dip, for that matter,
in 2023. But you're looking at the last 3 years as the pandemic and post-pandemic recovery. So where there's been a problem across educational institutions, across sectors, across companies, everywhere. I mean, we're looking at, when the entire Infosys Narayana Murthy talk of 70-hour work week, and what the first question was that the entry-level salaries, forget IIT engineers, you're talking about the regular engineer salary, which hasn't gone, the starting salary of an engineer in the country, that hasn't gone up in 12 years. So, so in that sense, how can IIT be completely away from it? There has been an overall problem in terms of economy, macroeconomic fundamentals. We're still hoping for a recovery, hoping for a rate cut next year. We're still hoping for a full-on recovery.
Discretionary spending to kick in.
Yeah, all of it. You're looking at to be back to the kind of booming normalcy that we had before the pandemic. So fingers crossed that it happens to everybody and people at IIT as well.
Absolutely. So not just IITs, but engineering students taking a beating on the back of IT companies slowing down, and tech companies in general slowing down in hiring as far as financial year 2024 is concerned.